With the rebel war, there were things that you can see, there were people that you can see. With Ebola, you cannot see it, and yet it's very catastrophic and very devastating.
Because the rebel commanders, they attack with sounds, while Ebola come in a silent way in the form of disease and continuously kill whosoever they came in contact with.
It's very devastating for us in Sierra Leone because everything is almost at a standstill, and all the government efforts and resources have been put into fighting the scourge.
Sierra Leone experienced this through Guinea-Conakry, a neighboring country, which started since last year, and then it went to Liberia, which is the next neighboring country. And since Liberia and Sierra Leone and Guinea, they are just miles away, borderlines, so people move to do businesses. So through that interpersonal connections that we have with these three countries, then Ebola finally came to Sierra Leone.
The first thing is fever. You have fever. Those are the symptoms of malaria. So maybe you are thinking that somebody is having malaria, you touch that person, you try to take temperature, then by the time you catch up that it's actually Ebola, it's too late. Educated people thought that this is a joke. Some of them will go to funerals. Who is going to tell me not to bury my parents? Educated people, and then they go there, they contact the disease, and then they die.
People were resisting to even believe that this Ebola is actually a deadly disease. In fact, there was no trust until when one of the senior doctors, who was the leading doctor for the disease control, died.
We have about 14 nurses that died, and 3 doctors, and these are very senior doctors who have died. And this is having a demoralizing effect on the rest of the clinicians, nurses, and the like. And some of them are even now afraid of going to the hospitals. Yes, it is deadly, but you can find ways not to get it. Even the regular washing of hands, washing yourself 2 or 3 times a day with soap and water. The virus of itself has a very short lifespan, and it can die quickly, either by too much heat, too much sun, and things like that, or by just washing it away.
It's from a kind of monkey. Monkeys are very common in Africa, and we Africans eat this bushmeat because it's a source of food.
Many of the fatalities are as a result of funerals that we've been reading, you know, and it is even now illegal in some areas for anybody to carry out funeral ceremonies without the proper authorities being present. It's illegal, and that goes around all the chiefdoms, all the paramount chiefs, all the local authorities have been informed that if somebody dies, it must be reported. They have people, though we are in short supply, people who handle corpses. That's their job. They are trained for it, and they are paid handsomely for it. The tested medicine that we had is containment. Avoid it from spreading into other areas. If we know that that is what I monitor every day, new cases. That is what gets me a bit worried. Because if I notice that there are areas in Sierra Leone that for the last 5 days have not got any new case, that gives you satisfaction. But at the same time, there are certain areas where it is not subsiding, where having new cases. That is what you get worried about. So if we can contain it, if we can quarantine the areas that we think 2 major districts have been quarantined, and for some of them, it seems to be going down. So, but we don't want to be too optimistic.
There are families in Sierra Leone, or my culture, there are more than 20 in one house. So you find out that even though the movements are regulated, those 20 people are intoxicated in one house. They need preventive cares even when they are there, so that will help their interactions for the spread of this disease.
When your neighbor's house is on fire, it is always good to help. You don't know what will happen to you next. I mean, with all the facilities here in the United States, it is still not immune, not 100% immune from sicknesses that occur in other areas of the world. We need a lot of logistical support. We need vehicles. We need ambulances. And above all, we need trained manpower, clinicians who can go in to train our nurses and on the frontline staff. We need a lot of those kind of people to help us. We are all each other's keeper. And if it's happening in Sierra Leone today, it can happen anywhere in the world. We never prayed for it. We never asked for it. We got it. So we appeal to the international community to come to our aid, come to our rescue.
Sierra Leone needs America more than anybody, anytime, ever in history. The Ebola disease, the governments of Sierra Leone have done all what they can, but yet still, the problem continues to escalate. The doctors who are the experts there continue to die.
So we need to come together as an international body to solve this problem. We rely very much upon the international community. The United States have been doing their part, and we hope to get further help from them. The WHO is now coming in, we believe, United Nations. They are coming in.
Everybody knows the 11 years war. We saw what happened, the brutality of people. A lot of hands were amputated, a lot of legs were amputated, children were used as child soldiers, and all these things, a story that nobody could ever believe happened in Sierra Leone just 12 years ago. And I knew the aftermath of war. And today I use crutches. Today I'm living with no family. So when I hear something like that my country is fighting another war, which is disease, it's completely sad.
Behind any such catastrophe, if one looks at history, something good always comes out of it. I mean, what we are doing now, what Ebola has done, it has brought into sharp focus the state of our medical system. Now, everybody knows that we have now to revamp that system and make that system work. So we have to take a huge priority in developing that system so that we can prevent future Ebolas of this type.